Lloyd, thanks for joining us, and Michael Owen, thanks to you as well. First to you, Michael. Who do you think will win tomorrow?
Well, talking to a lot of MPs today, they all seem to believe that Martin Hamilton-Smith will get over the line, although a number aren't actually saying who their votes are going to be with. But interestingly, there hasn't been one MP today who has said Vicky Chapman will win tomorrow. I think that in the end it's going to be a vote for Martin Hamilton-Smith. Will probably be a vote for another challenge, possibly before the end of the year, because Vicky Chapman will not sit on the backbench quietly and be a loyal backbencher, as many hope that she will be.
Well, do you think it'll be a good choice then? Not really.
I don't think it will solve anything. It's documents scandal still exists. It's not going to go away. That will continue to haunt them until the election. That's been shown again today with another story. The last 2 or 3 days, while the numbers have been counted, there have been stories after story about the fake documents affair. You then have a police investigation also ongoing. Another bad poll may well come along. We've only had one Sunday Mail poll at this point. News poll still has to come out. The Advertiser hasn't done a poll. All of this points towards continued instability. And the problem also for Martin Hamilton-Smith is that this has just brought up all of the bitterness and the infighting, and really, look, it's just a mess. You know, it is a mess.
Well, Megan Lloyd, you've sort of almost had a hand in this because one of those polls was yours, wasn't it?
Absolutely. It was, I guess it was just a coincidence of timing. We happened to have a poll planned for last week, and yes, and the opening question was, if an election was held tomorrow, how would you vote? And the two-party preferred was not good for the opposition, and it certainly has come down since the March polls, which was News poll and the Advertiser poll.
What about Vicky Chapman? Do you think she's got electoral appeal?
You know, I think we've had really interesting discussions, I must say, in work, and I've had several with people outside of work this week. Just, I guess, just kind of do a bit of
not amongst journalists. I'm talking about the public.
Exactly, and that's why I've tried to do it sort of, I guess, outside of the office as well. And I think she does. I think it's surprising. You know, she's easily dismissed sometimes as being this sort of, you know, eastern suburbs lawyer. But you know, this is a girl from rural Kangaroo Island, and you know, I think that background, that sort of country sort of background, and yes, okay, she's from you know, a political family as well. But I still think that is something that she should, you know, and could find to resonate with voters even outside of metropolitan Adelaide.
And also the fact that she is a female.
Absolutely.
Now, but is that why they won't vote for her, Michael?
Well, look, that did cross my mind, and that's something that hasn't been written or said. I think you're the first commentator to say it. So it's probably, that may well be a point, and that hasn't been explored. That may well be what we explore in the aftermath of tomorrow. But the point is that she is a female, and we have never had a female premier in South Australia. So she will definitely get, if she is successful tomorrow or later in the year, maybe November, December, she will definitely get a honeymoon phase where there'll be this think of something historic, you know, the first female premier in South Australia. And Labor doesn't want her to win at any point because they have Martin Hamilton-Smith exactly where they want him. They have a wealth of material to draw on for an advertising campaign that they'll launch in February or March. They can throw $1 million a week.
Already planned.
And...
Well, look, Megan, then on that point then, is it simply because she's a woman?
That she won't, people won't vote for her,
well,
or that she's not getting traction?
The party won't put her in.
Oh, I think it's bitterness and infighting, and it's generations of it.
But is that also a factor that could have got her across the line? I mean...
Well, she's not liked by the right faction. I think that's right within the Liberals. But of course, you know, they don't really have factions in the Liberals, do they? But I mean, it's families as well. You know, there's I think we had in the Sunday Mail just recently, you know, a piece about the fact that maybe Labor's has, you know, factions and the Liberals have families, and that's a way of, I guess, looking at that kind of rivalry and that history. That bitterness runs deep in many ways. I think the fact that she is a female actually really would work well for her.
Well, is there anyone though in the Liberal Party saying that? I mean, have you heard anything yourself saying, look, why don't we give it a try?
No.
I think more to the point is that Labor believes privately, they won't ever say it publicly, but privately the Premier doesn't know how to deal with a woman as a contestant because he's never had to face that.
Absolutely.
Kevin Foley and Patrick Conlon, a lot of the electorate already think they're bullies. Now, if they start attacking Vicky Chapman, out on the election path, they will turn off half the voters straight away, and that's something that Labor is very concerned about.
Really see
Do you think then tonight that there might be some of those people sitting out listening to even what you're saying tonight and saying, look, tomorrow maybe we will give Vicky a go? Do you think that's possible?
I think there's a few out there that will pick up tomorrow's papers. There's the weekend columns to read. There's the news stories of today's events to read. Again, another dodgy documents headline. More columns saying that Martin Hamilton Smith is really a lame duck leader. And I think that possibly there are a few that will waver. Now, whether or not there's enough to get Vicky over the line, even her close supporters are saying that's unlikely. That the more likely scenario, I was told today by one person who's not in the state parliament but very closely connected to Vicky Chapman, is that the most likely scenario is that she will probably lose tomorrow, go on the backbench, and then we'll see a challenge probably maybe within the next 2 to 3 months, possibly in November or December when Parliament has risen. Another bad news poll in December, for example, and all of a sudden those MPs that may have been wavering but decided to give the vote to Martin will now think, geez, what have we done? You know, Vicky, give us a shot.
All right, now Megan, on this point though, if we've seen this happen before with the Democrats, where leadership has eventually almost led to the death of the party, is it possible that the Liberals could actually be dying as a party?
Well, what I was also going to add to that was the fact that, you know, even regardless of what happens tomorrow, the gene pool of the parliamentary party of the Liberals does not change.
That's the biggest problem.
And, you know, the depth of talent and the number of heads they even have to...
And the donations they're getting as well.
Exactly. And one of the things that Martin Hamilton Smith has said this week is that whatever happens tomorrow, well, if he's successful tomorrow, there will be a reshuffle. But it's, you know, it's the same deck of cards, it's the same deck chairs that he's shuffling. And if you actually go down and look at the shadow cabinet and look who's not in it, and there's not too many that actually are in it now.
Well, can you see this as the beginning of the end for the party?
Well, they've still got 9 months. I guess is there a possibility that they can gain traction with, you know, with the voters? I guess it wasn't that long ago that they were 50-50 in news poll.
I think there'll always be Labor voters.
Yeah.
There'll always be Liberal voters. It's in South Australian politics at the moment. There's that big chunk of undecided voters that they have to win over. When all those people start seriously thinking about their vote, which will be early next year, and this gets back again to the problem for Martin Hamilton Smith, is that Labor has $1 million a week to throw at a campaign in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the campaign when people are making up their minds. Now, dodgy documents may not be resonating out there in the community at the moment, but it's like a brand. You walk past, you see it, and you get reminded about it later on.
Yeah.
And
well, that's it, Michael. Look, thank you very much for your opinions, and thank you to Megan Lloyd.
Thank you.